What's up, Dallas? It's your girl, Rachel. I have Tanisha. How are you, ma'am?
Hi, Rachel. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. I'm so happy to have you on my show today because we have a lot to talk about. You have a lot to offer to people.
Yes. Let's get started. Yeah. Where
For
do we
sure.
start?
So, for our viewers out there, can you tell them a little bit about yourself and about your company?
My name is Tanicia Prioleau, and my company, I actually have two. I have Remnant Media Services, LLC. And with Remnant Media Services, we actually work with nonprofits, organizations, even entrepreneurs and small business owners to help with their all things digital marketing, communication, and IT. So I've been in an IT for a little bit over 17 years. I've worked in every space, I would like to say, from help desk to desktop engineering, project management, business analyst, all those things. So I've been able to experience different areas as it relates to IT. So I actually bring that wide range of IT along with customer service in our business, Remnant Media Services.
Ah, I love that. I love the fact that you also work with nonprofits. So that's one of the things that a lot of them are striving to do right now. So kind of brings me to my first question for you. So how can nonprofits use social media to grow their reach?
Definitely. When it comes to nonprofits, one thing or pain point I can say that I've seen is that a lot of nonprofit owners are very passionate about the work. So that involves the owner actually doing a lot of community building, being out in a community, right? And what happens is you have your different levels of marketing. So the boots on the ground, so to speak, marketing is that face-to-face marketing, which is great, for those nonprofit owners to actually do, to show their face in a community. But the aspect that normally lies dormant is after the work has been done in a community, how do you actually tell that story digitally, right? For your donors, for your supporters, and those that you are actually seeking to help assist your organization. If you have a nonprofit, a lot of times, if a funder, a donor, or just someone is looking to support your work, the first place they're going to look to is social media. Um, a lot aside from seeing if you have a website and that digital visibility, they look to see, your storytelling and your work through Facebook or Instagram, wherever your organization is highlighted to show that you are active in a community and you're actually living out that particular vision and mission that you all say that you stand behind.
And I think you just literally like hit it on the nail about a lot of nonprofits and how they mainly focus. So they mainly focus on that community, going out there, being seen, being heard, networking and just, letting everybody know that their services are there. But one of the things that I do understand is that a lot of people do check to see if you have a website. They want to know that you're legit. They want to know that you are actually doing what you say you're doing. Is that
Mhm.
right?
That's right. Yeah. And then think about it also in a space of if I'm a nonprofit owner, one way or one of the main ways, right, that nonprofits actually receive their funding or support is normally it's going to be online. I mean, you may still have funders that send you checks, but where do they go? Online to actually donate to your organization. Do you have the different tools in place that are set up for nonprofits? Like Give Butter is a great tool. You have Giveify, you have different platforms that are available that will allow that ease of access for your donors and your supporters to plug right in and donate. And so, like you stated, those digital systems are very important. And it just takes another level of marketing. So you have your face-to-face marketing, and then you have your digital marketing, and different forms of marketing. And so we definitely like to focus on the digital systems of marketing and IT to ensure everything is in place.
Okay. And I do love that too. So if for a nonprofit to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you?
So they can actually go to our website is remnantmediaservice.com. And at the top, you'll see an option to book a consultation. A consultation is free, and that's just for us to learn more about the organization, the vision and a mission. We just definitely love working with different nonprofits and organizations, but our goal is to tell your story digitally, right? And so we want to get that information. So that would be the first place to start.
Okay. I love that. Y'all, please get your pen and paper. Please jot that information down, especially if you're a nonprofit. Like, this channel and this podcast is for always for helping the community and letting y'all know what's what here in DFW and how to make everything work. So you also have another service that you provide, right? So you
Mhm.
empower authors and creators to publish their message. Tell me about that.
It's Remnant Media Publications. And so we definitely have a lot of authors. Mainly it's, self-help, faith-based authors, right, to be able to publish your message with ease. Again, providing just that ease of access, whereas as an author, you may only be focused on writing, just like we talked about that nonprofit owner, they're only focused on community building, right? So that author actually need a team behind them that can help them take that writing and publish it right into a book, but not just a book, but try to go beyond that of thinking about strategy, right? Once you have your book in your hand, what is your goal as far as impacting, your sphere of influence or your audience, right? That you wrote the book for, how are you going to get out to them? Is that vendor events? Are you going to, do a podcast? But there has to be another avenue beyond the book to be able to target that particular audience. More specifically, we love at Remnant producing workbooks and all types of curriculum information. Again, for nonprofits, a lot of nonprofits have classes, they have courses, right? They have different themes where they actually need these publications produced, workbooks. If you're a faith-based organization, then you're going to need devotionals, so much more. So we come alongside we call ourselves a premier publishing partner to provide those resources and even create them if need be for those organizations.
I love that you provide a variety of things that entrepreneurs, nonprofits, people in the community, people who actually really want to make that impact out there, you just provide all the tools for them. And I
Right.
love that about you. I love that. I love this whole conversation. This is like everything I needed to say and hear because I have a book too. So,
Mm,
but I mean it's not published yet and it's not finalized yet for printing and
mhm,
stuff like that. So for someone like me who has
mhm.
that book, like you have the story, you're still writing it, but once they finish it, can you walk me through that process with your company?
Definitely. So once that manuscript is finished, or if you're in a, finalizing stage, we've had some people actually work with us. They were finalizing their manuscript. And so we begin to actually get the vision, right, of who we call the visionary. The author is also the visionary because you envision writing that book. So we can work with you to understand your vision for the book cover. We have professional graphic designers that can begin to work on, your book cover for you, really just kind of getting your visual idea as to how you would like that book cover to work. And then we come alongside with you. We do professionally help you obtain your copyright. So you own 100% of the rights of your book and your royalties. We also assist with the back end system. Some authors may want a landing page set up to promote their book. Some may also just need assistance with formatting and editing. So we do have an a la carte option, and then we have the different publishing packages that provides that support for those authors.
There's like so many times like people are just they have the thought, they have the
Mm-hmm.
idea, they have the story, and then they're just like, but I'm so confused. Like I don't know where to go from here. So I'm just like, can you explain why it's so important for them to publish that message?
Oh, yes, definitely. A lot of times when we have a nudge, it starts with a nudge, right? And then it becomes like a driving force. It's like, I need to get this word out. And a lot of times what happens when you actually write it, it provides a release for us. Some people call it a catharsis because when you have something that you've been holding in for a while and you actually write it or publish it, that helps you to kind of get a release, and then you can see the bigger picture, and then beyond yourself, now you're in a place of serving because you're getting out what's been nudging you, right, and kind of driving you into the hands of those that need it. And so there are a lot of people that need our message, whether you're a entrepreneur and you've gone through this entrepreneur journey and you have nuggets that you can share with someone else that's probably going through that same journey. They need that. There are some people that are looking to transition, from this is a big thing. I want to transition from my 9 to 5 into a full-time entrepreneur. There may be someone that actually has gone through that process and now they can put that in a book and share it, with others. And so all of us have what we call that intellectual property, like I'm sure you do, Rachel, all of us, right? And our intellectual property are things that we've learned, whether through life experiences, through our education, whatever the case is. And so you're taking what you have learned and you're putting it in a book, right? And you're sharing it with others so that they can kind of not have to go down that same road. And so that's why it's so important to get that message out. It reaches further, in the book, and you can reach thousands of people.
Mm. Girl, like this is one of them podcasts that I really, really need to listen to.
I'm gonna listen again. I love it.
Yes, I mean, it's got so much information for everyone out there and for our listeners. So, Tanisha, you have this drive, you have this passion behind everything that you're doing. How did you come about doing media and, doing the IT and all? How did you develop your business, your passion for it?
That's such a good question. So, as I stated, just going through those years of working in IT, originally just back to high school. I went to high school in Mansfield. So, anyone that's in the area know about Mansfield. And there, of course, I mean, it was very important. You have to know what are you going to do beyond, just school, right? Or high school. And I knew I always wanted to do about 3 things. It was something in the news reporting, writing. I loved technology at that time, so just wanted to learn more about IT. But then I knew I wanted to teach. So I had a few areas that I wanted to go in. And I said, well, if I be a teacher, then I'll be a computer teacher, right? Try to combine the two. But then I've always liked writing. And so I actually went in the area of IT. My parents actually invested in helping me take early IT classes. They kind of kept me level-headed, I would say. I wanted to go off to college to NYU, California, all the places that I would get in a lot of trouble. And so they're like, no, you have to fine tune down to what it is that you want to do in life. And that really helped because I was able to, jumpstart my career, and so started from school in computer science and started working at what some people may say the first level, right, of IT, but that really helped to shape my skills as far as customer service, working with clients, and really understanding, their need. And so just taking those years and expertise of IT along with, media and just my passion for writing, I just saw a need to actually merge it together. I didn't see it coming, right, in a form of a business. I was just a person just working, every day. And up until last year, I was actually laid off from my corporate job, which helped. I was building my business alongside it. So that layoff, although it was impactful, it wasn't as impactful because I had a business where I was really doing this media, IT publishing. So it really allowed me to fine tune my skills, work on my messaging, my communication. And so that's how we're here with Remnant today.
Oh, I love that. That's cool. That's a great, synopsis of how everything came about and taking
Right.
that leap of faith. I know, like when you're laid off from a company, like you can't prevent that. It's
No.
gonna happen. But the fact that you already had your business started before, that happened.
Yeah. It
That
really helps.
happened to me at one point too. And that's when I kind of started the podcast too. And I started the magazine because I was like, I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to be
No,
just relying on one income. So for me, I have like three different businesses, but I have my money in different scenarios so that I don't just rely on that one thing. So
right.
I totally feel you, girl.
Yeah. And my daughter is 11, and so at her school, I have her in this entrepreneur, they have the after school club. So she's in an entrepreneur after school club. And I told her on my way to take her to school this morning, I was like, when you become a business owner, because she has all these grandiose ideas. They're great, right? And so I
Mhm.
told her, you want to really keep learning about business, finances, entrepreneurship, because you're going to learn later on in life. It's not one thing, as far as a stream of income, but there are a multitude of ways that you can actually have multiple streams of income, whether it's small or big, but it makes a significant difference when you're not just, relying on one particular avenue to make money. And so
I
I
agree with
agree.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right. If
Right.
there was a young lady or young man out there that wanted to do what you're doing, what would you tell them?
Oh, goodness. I would tell them to start exactly where they're at. One thing I would say for a young man or young lady, I think it is important. Now, this generation, our age group, works a little bit backwards. They are actually trying to go into the entrepreneur space without having a right foundation, right? And so they don't have a foundation of serving. They don't have a work ethic. And so I would keep it simple, exactly what is it that they like to do. Definitely set up a career around their particular gifts, talents, and skill set, and then look for a company initially that they can work for just to obtain, those skills, life skills, right? Character development and professional development. These are all very important skills. But while they're there, really thinking about how they can serve the community as a whole greater, right, through their own company, going out to serve. One thing that I've enjoyed working with nonprofits is that I've had the opportunity to serve alongside nonprofits as a volunteer, and that greatly increased my skill set. So if there is an opportunity to volunteer for nonprofits to learn different skill sets, then that is something I would definitely recommend to those that are younger than me.
That's great advice. And thank you for sharing that with me.
You're welcome.
Um, for our viewers out there, can you tell them where to find you on social media?
Yes, so you can find Remnant Media Services definitely, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you're looking for me, I'm Tanicia Prioleau. You can find me on LinkedIn. And again, you can find my company at remnantmediaservice.com.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us for this episode. I believe all the information she presented here can help a lot of you. So take your notes, rewatch this episode because it's going to be giving you some nuggets in there that you cannot miss. And I just want to tell you thank you, Tanisha, for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was such a joy, Rachel.
It was a great joy, and I learned so much. Thank you all. We'll be back with another episode. Thank you.